Thank you. We need to move those deer crossing signs.
We appreciate your comment this morning.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Yeah. That's what we have in public nowadays, people. That is the United States of America. That's scary. All right, I'm just getting Facebook stream up and running, and then we're good to go. I think we're good to go now. I don't know what the heck happened there. Well, I had to end up updating because they decided to do an update. God, I hate that sometimes. Let's see. All right, let's see. Where are we at? The House Homeland Security Committee approved a $10 billion funding package for President Donald Trump's promised border wall construction. The bill could be attached to a legislation being debated to replace Barack Obama's Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. We have been talking about border security for many years. Now that we finally have a partner in the White House who has prioritized this issue, it's time for Congress to do its part and get the job done. Homeland Security Committee Chairman Michael McCall said in a written statement obtained, and it's I look forward to working with my colleagues in both chambers to get this bill to the President's desk so we can finally provide the American people with the security they have long demanded and deserved. The U.S. Constitution enumerates Congress' authority to provide for the common defense of our nation. Today, the committee passed legislation that will protect our homeland by strengthening the security of our borders. This is the 21st century. This is a 21st century, multi-layered approach which authorizes $10 billion for the construction of a border wall, $5 billion for the modernization of our port of entry, provides other tactical infrastructure and cutting-edge technology, puts more boots on the ground, and better employs the Department of Homeland Security Secretary to take other necessary actions to secure the border. The provisions funding the construction of the President's promised border wall came as part of a broader security spending proposal that will reimburse states for up to $35 million for the cost of using National Guard troops to supplement border security efforts in their states. It also includes $5 billion to increase security at ports of entry. Damn it. Oh. Mine just went totally blank there. Yawned and went totally blank. Democrats have expressed their displeasure with the committee's attempt to secure the national border with Mexico. The committee's ranking Democrat, Representative Benny Thompson, attempted to change the name of the bill to Take an American Land to Build Trump's Wall Act of 2017. That proposal failed. Texas Democrat Representative Filemon Viola attempted to attack snarky amendments that included adding the terms big and beautiful, real, inclusive of a door, and paid for by the Mexican government. Those amendments also failed. Oh, don't you just love government in action? Democrats trying to be fucking smartasses instead of doing their fucking job. I appreciate the gentleman's creativity in this amendment and sense of humor, but I will oppose this amendment, Chairman McCall responded to his fellow Texan. The Hill also reported that Democrats expressed concern that the bill is an attempt to tie border security to some type of replacement program for the Executive Action Program, DACA. There's no doubt that this is a setup for that conversation. Really, jackass, because your Executive Action Program doesn't mean shit. It's unconstitutional. It is not law. So Congress is taking it up to create law. How fucking stupid are these Democrats? Do they purposely make these asinine comments like this? Oh my God. What the? Are all these Democrats high as a kite? Because there's got to be some reason they're just this dumb. Then we have the Republican chairwoman rips Michelle Obama, and she needs it. She made a divisive, racist comment. You know what? I keep hearing how we're the ones that are being divisive and dividing the country. I haven't heard us go out there and say all white men and all men and all white. That's why the problems. All cops are trying to kill black people. And all these other little petty comments about, they're constantly making comments about white men and the white race owes all this money. And they keep making this. They're the ones that keep putting this divide. And they go, Donald Trump says mean things. He's dividing the country. No, Democrats, you're saying it. Stand up. Be proud of the shit you're doing. Be proud of it. You're doing it. You're the one dividing this country. Stand up. Be proud of your work. Don't hide. Don't be a pussy and try to blame somebody else. That's what people are getting tired of. There's a lot, but that's one of them. Democrats do this shit, then they run and hide. People aren't dumb. They know what's going on. They know what the Democrats are doing. But the chairwoman for the RNC blasted Michelle Obama. Oh, shit. Sorry. I also got a hockey game all to the side, and I think it's 5-0 Blackhawks. They're just lighting up the Penguins. Holy shit. Sorry about that. We'll get back on track here. It's unfortunately Michelle Obama would disregard the contributions of conservative women and people of all backgrounds with one sweeping false accusation. The former First Lady spoke at a Pennsylvania conference for women on Tuesday and said it was important to have different types of people to gather different perspectives, saying we should be working actively to mix it up. Obama recalled visiting Congress for State of Union address and drew a stark contrast between the two sides of the aisle. What you can see is this real... on one side of the room, it's a feeling of color. On one side of the room, it's literally gray and white. Literally, that's the color palette on one side of the room. She continued, on the other side of the room, there are yellows, blues, greens, whites. Physically, there's a difference in color and in tone because on one side, all men, all white. On the other side, some women, some people of color. Michelle Obama pointed to that scene and said, no wonder people don't trust politics. Not only is the head of the RNC a woman, but the dozen of women and minority are Republican members of Congress, including Representative Mia Love of Utah, Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, and the 115th Congress. There are 14 minority Republicans in the House, 4 in the Senate. There are currently 24 Republican congresswomen, 5 female Republican senators. The Obama comment came after the former First Lady also angered Republicans by criticizing women who voted for President Trump. Quote, any woman who voted against Hillary Clinton voted against their own voice. Obama told the audience during a talk at a marketing conference last month in Boston. This is what's pissing America off, this identity politics. It's not winning them any seats. They're losing, but yet they double down, they triple down. Let's just keep going down this path and see how far it leads us down. This is what's separating the country. This is what's dividing the country. Because the morons that blindly follow these people believe it. They believe that there's all this racism on the other side. Then when you open your eyes and you finally start listening and learning, there isn't that racism. You start to learn the racism is coming from the left. They're the ones dividing this country. They're the ones that don't want to have conversations. They want to talk and they want everybody else to shut the fuck up. That's their type of conversation. A lot of people are getting tired of it. A lot of people are getting tired of this. And that's why the Democrats keep losing. Michelle Obama's taking a huge swipe, a large swipe, at a large swath of the population. According to exit polls, 41% of women voted for Trump in November. And do you think that's going to have women come running back on, oh, sorry, we didn't know? No, you just told them that they're mindless twits that can't think on their own because they didn't blindly follow the Democrat Party. It's... I don't see the intelligence within any of this. I couldn't even see Amoeba being this destructive of its own self. And Amoeba wants to survive more than the Democrat Party does. Yes, there's this small percentage in the country that loves hearing that. That racist part. The rest of the country doesn't want to hear this crap anymore. They're tired of it. And that's why the Democrats are going the way of the dodo bird. They're doubling down on identity politics. They're doubling down on attacking our Constitution. It's not just the Second Amendment. Don't think it's just the Second Amendment. They're attacking the First Amendment. They're attacking every section that they can. They have been trying to silence voters. Anybody that opposes them, they've been trying to silence you. They want to silence your vote by allowing these illegal votes to happen. No investigation to happen into the voting. Because they want to take away your vote. But hey, they love to go up and lay on the bullshit and sing Kumbaya, you know, and think it's all right. Well, it's not. Don't go up there and tell me you're feeding me steak and hand me shit. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. And we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. I'm just at a loss with politics anymore. I mean, it's... Are they that stupid? Are they really that stupid? Or do they think we're that stupid? don't know which one's worse. I really don't. This identity politics, you would think by now they would have learned that it's not working, but they just, no. Nope, they just keep going down that path, down that rabbit hole, seeing how far they can go. I don't know. Then again, I'm just a common person. I got common sense. All right, Hollywood titan, Hillary donor Harvey Weinstein accused of decades of sexual harassment against young women. New York Times dropped a career bomb on Harvey Weinstein, the multiple Oscar-winning producer and Democrat-powered donor. According to the report, Weinstein has settled no fewer than 8 sexual harassment complaints over 25 years between 1990 and 2015. Weinstein, who has been married for most of those years, told the Times Thursday that he is working with a therapist and plans to take a leave of absence from his film company. I'm going to need a place to channel that anger, so I've decided that I'm going to give the NRA my full attention. I hope Wayne LaPerriere will enjoy his retirement party. I'm going to do it at the same place I had my bar mitzvah. I'm making a movie about our president. Perhaps we could make it a joint retirement party. That's why I missed. In a deeply cynical and somewhat pitiful bid to retain the affections of the Hollywood crowd in the wake of his horrific allegations, Weinstein announced he would use this time to attack the NRA and President President Trump. That is, how desperate do you have to be? So you're getting accused of multiple sexual harassments, and your big thing is to deflect and talk about the NRA. And you know what? There's people that'll be dumb enough that'll fall for it. Look at that. He's going to go and he's going to do a movie about the NRA, and he's going to go and he's going to attack, and he's going to attack the president. He's going to make him retired, so his sexual harassment is acceptable. Lisa Bloom, a high-powered attorney, usually standing with accusers, is representing Weinstein in this matter and told the Times that her client denies many of the accusations as patently false. That, however, is not a denial of all the claims. Weinstein added, I appreciate the way I behaved with colleagues in the past has caused a lot of pain, and I sincerely apologize for it. Though I'm trying to do better, I know I have a long way to go. Senator Hillary Clinton and Miramax boss Harvey Weinstein arrived at the Brooklyn Museum for the premiere of Miramax film Finding Neverland. Oh, that was from a picture, sorry. Sometimes I don't catch it. When I grab the articles and I do a copy and paste, I got to take out where there's, that little comments underneath the article or underneath the picture. Sometimes I don't catch it, and as I'm going through the article, I kind of start talking about it like a moron. Above and beyond the settlements are other accusations, including one from veteran Hollywood actress Ashley Judd. She claims that 2 decades ago, when she was still a movie star, and on the pretense of a breakfast meeting, Weinstein, who was then at the height of his fame, invited her to a breakfast meeting. Weinstein, who was then at the height of, invited her to a hotel where he appeared in a bathrobe and asked if he could give her a massage or she could watch him shower. Things only went downhill from there, Judd alleges. Mr. Weinstein soon issued invitation after invitation, she said. Could he give her a massage? When she refused, he suggested a shoulder rub. She rejected that, she recalled. He steered her towards a closet, asking her to help pick out his clothing for the day, and then toward the bathroom. Would she watch him take a shower, she remembers him saying. This guy's sick. I said no, a lot of ways, a lot of times, and he always came back at me with some new ask. It was all this bargaining, this cohesive bargaining. This appears to have been Weinstein's modus operandi. Breakfast meetings in hotel rooms, appearing in a robe or barely clothed at a request for a massage. In interviews, 8 women described various behaviors by Mr. Weinstein, appearing nearly or fully naked in front of them, requiring them to be present while he bathed or repeatedly asked for a massage or initiating one himself. The women, typically in the early or mid-20s, hoping to get a toehold in the film industry, said he could switch course quickly, meeting and clipboards one moment, intimate comments the next. One woman advised a peer to wear a parka when summoned for a duty as a layer of protection against unwelcome advances. According to one accuser, Weinstein went beyond indecent proposals. Italian model, Ambra Bartolina claims Weinstein grabbed her breasts after asking if they were real and put his hands up her skirt. The police got involved, but no charges were filed, according to the Times. Weinstein later settled with her. One of the 8 settlements reportedly includes actress Rose McGowan. For 3 years between 2006 and 2009, McGowan was dating and later engaged to Robert Rodriguez, a director who regularly worked with Weinstein, including 2015's flop Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. I don't mean to laugh because it's not funny, but it's the Democrat make these big stinks and grab these moral high grounds when in fact they are no better. A lot of times they're the ones that are getting accusations tossed at them. I just, oh my God, it's it's disgusting. How someone can do that is beyond me. The Times story also notes that Weinstein's behavior has never been much of a secret. Rumors involving sexual harassment, a volcanic temper, and bullying of subordinates have swirled around Weinstein for 2 decades. But as I wrote earlier today, although allegations like these are nothing new and have been floating around and even joked about since the 1990s, no one would have dared come forward until now. Weinstein was just too powerful for too long. So they were justifying and coddling him because he was a successful, director, a movie producer. So that justifies being quiet and allowing him to do this? Get real, people. Holy shit. They say here, and they take the moral high ground when they're justifying why rapists should be allowed to do their actions. Disgusting. But yet they want to make this big stink over Trump and his comment of that whole conversation, private conversation. It's not that he actually did it, but yet now they make all the fuss over that. And this is one of their own. And this isn't the only one. You got Bill Clinton. You've had Bob Mendez. He's had his accusations. A lot of them. Weiner. I mean, the list goes on. And they're going to sit there and judge? Everyone wanted to work with him. Everyone wanted to pick up and distribute their passion. Wanted him to pick up their passionate project. Weinstein was no bear no one dared poke. Also protecting Weinstein from the consequences of his behavior are his correct politics. Weinstein is a leftist, a Democrat power donor, and a high-profile political activist who passed himself off in public as a male feminist. In 2015, the same year Miss O'Connor wrote her memo, his company distributed The Hunting Ground, a documentary about campus sexual assault. A longtime Democrat donor, he hosted a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton in his Manhattan home last year. He employed Mila Obama, the oldest daughter of former President Barack Obama, as an intern this year, and recently helped endow a faculty chair at Rutgers University in Gloria Steinemann's name. During the Sundance Film Festival in January, when Park City, Utah held its version of the nationwide Women's March, Mr. Weinstein joined the parade. So, Hillary, tell me, where is Hillary? Why hasn't she come out and condemned him? Why hasn't she came out and disavowed Harvey Weinstein? She knew this was going on. She didn't give a rat's ass as long as she got money. Yeah, typical. Oh my God. I know I got to be a little bit gullible. I'm not gullible, but I guess I got to be a little bit to be sitting here and a little bit shocked over this. Today, Weinstein is widely regarded as past his prime. Numerous reports indicate that the 65-year-old is in deep financial trouble. Moreover, he has not produced a hit or come near Oscar gold in nearly 5 years, and his highest profit profiles offerings have all bombed, including Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight. Weinstein no longer has the juice to ruin anyone. Without that shield, it looks as though Weinstein's faces a reckoning that has been a long time in the coming. He should have never been allowed to do this to begin with. They should have never... They're justifying why. How can you justify someone's sexual harassment like that? What? That's the left for you. That's the left. It's funny, but it's not funny. They've allowed this guy, the sexual predator, to run around like Bill Clinton. And they've excused it time and time again. They excuse Bill Clinton. Then they try to hit the high ground over a comment. This shows the hypocrisy that is the left. This shows the hypocrisy of all their propaganda they push, all the crap that they spew. This is just the joke that the Democrats are. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cat for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here, and we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's see. I'm just... I can't believe. They actually... They make a fuss, but then they protect these people. I mean, how can you do that? Talk about being double talk. Double talk job, get the money, motherfucker, because I got no more patience now. Sorry. Let's see, where are we at? Where are we at? I'm just dumbfounded by that. I mean, I know it happens, but it just, damn, that's... You know you're not going to be able to keep that shit quiet forever, and it's going to come back, and they think, oh, well, it's not going to come back and bite us, and it does. They know this shit's going on. They know damn well this is going on. But, hey, it's the elites. They can do what they want, you know? They've been doing it for a while. They act like they can do whatever they want. We're going to get going on to the next subject, because that one's just got my head in like a total loop. Let's switch something out here real quick. I know, I should have done this during the break. I'm always the smartest in a room. I try to be. That doesn't always going to be. Let's see how this does. Alright. I'm trying to, get things more rectified. Oh. Where are we at? It is what it is. It is what it is. Not you guys. I can never just leave things alone. I'm always shaking things up, and I have a habit of doing it at the worst time, don't I? I know I do. I'm not that smart when it comes to that sometimes. Where's the point? Oh boy. I couldn't find the video there. Oh, it's always one headache or another. All right, what is shit. Wires. There we go. All right, CNN's Cizilla lies again about Democrats not wanting to take your guns. With his move from the Washington Post to CNN, Chris went from dishonest left-wing news outlet to one with no scruples whatsoever. CNN sends range from flat-out lying to ginning up violence in predominantly black neighborhoods to pointing out what looks like a sniper scope in President Trump's office window. And with this move, Chris has become even more dishonest than he was at the Post. back in July, although his very own network had already dishonestly described a meeting with President Trump and Vladimir Putin as secret. That's not going to work out over there. Chris still published a piece branding Trump a liar over his claim that media was dishonestly describing the meeting as secret. That was a flat-out, provable lie spread by Chris, and one which he has refused to acknowledge, retract, or correct. Eager to exploit Sunday's mass slaughter in Las Vegas for the cause of gun control, Chris published a brand new series of lies this week with a provable false claim that neither Hillary Clinton nor Barack Obama have ever advocated for gun confiscation laws. That is the biggest lie I've heard in a long time. And I know there was a video that went along with this article. Give me 1 second. Play the audio at least. Tick tock, tick tock. And Chris again brands Trump a liar for claiming that they didn't, but they have. I've played the audio time and time again. I'll be able to find it. Could have sworn I had done save them. I didn't. I normally save all of these, but I didn't. Alright, here is the video. Hopefully there will be no commercial.
People often ask me, how's it been being president? What are my proudest of, and what are my biggest disappointments? And I've got 2.5 years left. My biggest frustration so far is the fact that this society has not been willing to take some basic steps to keep guns out of the hands of people who can do just unbelievable damage. We're the only society, we're the only developed country on earth where this happens.
Which is an outright lie.
And it happens now once a week.
That's a lie.
And it's a one-day story. There's no place else like this. Our levels of gun violence are off the charts. There's no advanced, developed country on earth that would put up with this.
Bullshit.
Now, we have a different tradition. We have a Second Amendment. We have historically respected gun rights. I respect gun rights.
Bullshit.
But the idea that, for example, we couldn't even get a background check bill in to make sure that if you're going to buy a weapon, you have to...
No, that's not exactly what it was.
...process so that we know who you are, so you can't just walk up to a store and buy a semi-automatic weapon. It makes no sense. Clearly.
Well, the thing is, I don't think he even understands what the definitions are. I believe this was Hillary Clinton. Where's this still?
recently, Australia managed to get away or take away tens of thousands, millions of handguns. And in 1 year, they were all gone. Can we do that? And why, if we can't, why can't we?
You know, Australia is a good example. Canada is a good example. The UK is a good example. Why? Because each of them had mass killings. Australia had a huge
right there is talking about banning
25 years ago.
Thank God she's not the president.
Canada did as well. So did the UK. And in reaction, they passed much stricter gun laws. In the Australian example, as I recall, that was a buyback program. The Australian government, as part of trying to clamp down on the availability of automatic
They took
weapons,
guns from everybody.
Offered a good price for buying hundreds of thousands of guns.
No,
and
they didn't.
Basically clamped down going forward in terms of having, you know, more of a background check approach, more of a permitting approach. But they believed, and I think the evidence supports them, that by offering to buy back those guns, they were able to, you know...
Let's hold up there, because what happened is in 1996, Australia passed a law that was a full-blown forced confiscation program. Australia implemented a massive purge of guns in 1996, which included bans on assault weapons and other semi-automatic rifles and shotguns. They also did force buybacks and then entered into strict licensing and registration agreement where certain single-shot rifles and similar firearms could be owned, but only if the owner provided justification for the possession of such weapons.
Curtail the supply and to set a different standard for gun purchases in the future. Now, communities have done that in our country. Several communities have done gun buyback programs.
Not forced
I think it would be worth considering doing it on the national level if that could be arranged. Remember, I know after the terrible 2008 financial crisis, I think one of the programs that President Obama was able to get in place was cash for clunkers. Remember that? You know, getting them off the road, and
that was a big failure.
It was partly a way to get people to buy new cars because we wanted more economic activity, and it was partly a way to get old models that were polluting too much sort of off the road. So I think that's worth considering. I don't know enough details to tell you how we would do it or how it would work, but certainly the Australian example is worth looking at. Thank you for...
Now, I read you what it is. That's forced confiscation. That is not a buyback, a volunteer program. That was a forced confiscation. That is what Hillary and Barack wanted. That is what the Democrats want. They want a select few, a very, very select few, while they still have their bodyguards, armed guards, protecting them, their property, and their loved ones. They get protection. Nobody else does. See, that's the big thing they don't want to say. Everybody else will have to fend for themselves. As criminals go, it's robbing season. No, it's murder season. Robbing season. Murder season. And the whole time, these politicians don't have to worry about it because they have armed security with them. These elite stars that lecture us, they have armed security around them. Isn't it nice to people that have armed security around them lecturing how we shouldn't have armed security with us? You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless, or at least try. Don't forget, we are here every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only right here on SHR and High Plains Pundit. Flyers getting ready to come on, so I'll kind of keep an eye out for that. Crap, game's going to be late again. They're really screwing this up. Yeah, someone just, alright, I had posted someone's tweet, and someone just replied to it. I want to bring it up, because these were some really sick tweets. This person is at Crying Casey. You could also, it's at CryingCassie. Her one tweet is, I honestly want every single Trump supporter dead. This isn't a tweet for attention. If you support Trump, I want you 6 feet in the ground. Then she had like a little gift of a smile, Mariah Carey smiling and all that. It said, me finding out it was a Las Vegas country concert, so they were probably all Trump supporters. I would like to thank Stephen Paddock for his public service and sacrifice. Rest in peace. This is your liberal party, people. This is what they are creating. This is what the left is proud of. But it's us on the right that are full of hate. Yeah. But of course they'll say, well, that's just a person on the right claiming they're on the left and trying to make us look bad. No, this is what you are, left. This is what you created. This is what they created. And Twitter has not suspended her account as of this afternoon. She has all this hate that Twitter says they stand against, but because it's a leftist, they accept it. They allow it. I forgot to tell you, top of the hour in about 10 minutes or 50 minutes will be BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, hosted by, you got it, BZ. I cannot believe that they allow this person to continue. It's the hate that they allow. But Twitter does nothing because it's coming from a leftist. I'm just shocked they allow it. And this idiot actually has a tweet justifying Justin Bieber, whatever. Using the N-word. I see TampaBay.com's trying to stir shit up. Because their supplies sitting at Tampa to be taken over. And it's not like they're getting around. There's supplies there. Tampa Bay Media, TampaBay.com, Tampa Bay, or Bay News 9, all liberal pieces of bastion. They're trying to push people to become liberals anymore in this area. They're really pushing it hard. And it's scary because it's actually starting to work. Can't believe all the bullshit that's going on in this world. I see they're still trying to attack Dinesh D'Souza, and he keeps smacking them down. Now, the Vegas shooting, the CNN's just the bastion of bastards. CNN published a column on Wednesday declaring that the mass shooting that took place in Las Vegas was the result of America having silently accepted the rage of white men. Their attack again goes on. They have targeted white males for like the last year or two real heavy. It was subtle at first, and now it's all ahead, full attack on white males. Now, let's say the right did this and said these comments about blacks. We would hear how racist everybody was. Trying to find a flipping Flyers game. Listen, no. I mean, seriously, you imagine they said that we silently accepted the rage of black men. And we were talking about the Chicago violence. Holy shit, they would erupt about the racism. Hey, how you doing, Dave? But yet, we can sit back and CNN could post an article saying slightly accept the rage of white men, and that's why this shooting happened. So they blamed Republican and now white men. Mass shootings are a violent epidemic that have been met with fatal passive for too long. If mass shootings were perpetrated mostly by brown bodies, this would quickly be reframed and reformed as an immigration issue. If thousands died at the hands of black men, it would be used to excuse political brutality, minimize the Black Matters movement, and exacerbate the raging black man stereotype. Problem is, thousands of black men are being killed by other blacks in Chicago by guns, and we're not allowed to talk about it. So right there, that blows CNN's theory right out the door. If the mass shooter identified as a Muslim, it would quickly become terrorism and catalyze defense and security expenditures. I don't see a wall being built. I saw how the left attacked blocking certain countries from being allowed to come into this country because, you know, their theories are so far-fetched so that they could blame it on the white man. The hate that goes on for white men nowadays is absolutely appalling. Sickening. Yeah, I'm appalled. BZ. I'm going to jump topics real quick because I got BZ in the chat room right now. I know he's going to be popping in and out. He's prepping for his show. I want to talk about the shooting real quick because something popped up in my head today that makes me really go, what the fuck? Because there's a lot of reports, and I'm not talking the conspiracy theory or the rumor mill. There's a lot of actual reports saying there was a second person in that hotel room. There's receipts for food for 2 guests. Now, we know the girlfriend was in the Philippines. Now, my question is, and why I want to ask BZ to pay attention, is the night of the shooting, me and him were talking on private chat on Twitter back and forth about this. And I was listening to the scanners, the police scanners. And approximately between 2:30 and 300 hours, there was a report that they had a driver's license, and I can't remember what it was, a room key or something to do with the room that had Mary Lou Delaney, Dunley, whatever it is, name on it. They had the address. And if I looked, I could tell you what the street name is that they gave. Because what I did is I tweeted that to BZ at 0300 hours Eastern Standard Time. That's approximately, what, midnight? 1 o'clock? For Las Vegas? I don't know what time frame they're in. Time zone. That was immediately preceding the shooter. So, if she is in the Philippines, what is her driver's license doing in that hotel room? How did she get on a flight if her driver's license was in the hotel room? Now, I know she wasn't the one that was there the day of the shooting, that a lot of people were saying right before the shooting happened. But it's just, it makes me question another, let's put it this way, adds another question into what happened that night. Adds to the list. We even got the sheriff now. The sheriff has said 1 + 1 = 2 and 2 + 2 = 4. And he said there's no way this 64-year-old man could have done the shooting himself unless he was trying to come up with a supervillain. He ended up not saying that, but I think that's the word he was trying to come up with on the spot. I don't see, something is still not adding up, and I know I talked about it last night, but just that, what was her IDs? Why did she have some kind of ID with a hotel or some kind of device in the hotel room with her name on it when she was in the Philippines? Just something for you to think about. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Power brokers use corrupt politicians, deceptive Islam, and lies from establishment media to turn the once shining city on a hill into the city of the blind. What do the elites fear? One man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me at SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Spreaker, iTunes, and YouTube for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Don't forget, we are here every day, Monday through Friday, or I should say every night, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know what? That isn't ironclad, but they pull from Florida sites. They do. And that's two different sites coming up that Democrat. And I've seen it. That's not the first time. And like, they're not exactly off-the-wall sites either. So, and for those that don't know what we're talking about, myself, Dave the Unpleasant Blind Guy, and the Great BZ are in the chat room. We're discussing the political registration of Stephen Paddock, the shooter from Las Vegas. And just a quick search popped up that he is a Democrat and has been a Democrat, registered Democrat, at least here in Florida. He did live here in Florida for a little bit. I believe he lived near Sarasota. Or no, his brother's in Orlando. Whatever. He lived here in Florida for a couple of years, for a time, I'll say that. And the fact that they haven't jumped out and screamed that it's Republican tells you exactly that he was a Democrat. They don't want to broadcast that stuff. They keep that stuff quiet. But if he was a Republican, they'd be from the top of every hill, he's a Republican, he's a Trump supporter. But here's the thing, we all knew he wasn't going to be, because what did he shoot up? A pro-Trump crowd. As that I Am Casey, I think she put now I Am Famous, but Casey, Crying Casey, so elegantly was proud that a bunch of Trump supporters got shot up. But the CNN reporter I was talking about goes on to argue that mass shootings are a white man's problem, exacerbated by over-affinity for guns among white men. Since 1982, mass shootings in the United States have been committed by white men who are often labeled lone wolves or psychologically impaired. As a result, the government that would otherwise be mobilized an institution to bring about reform remains a steward of the Second Amendment and mass shootings' greatest ally. Actually, no. See, the problem is, if you look, what was it, late 80s, early 90s, the Democrats throwing a hissy fit about the government throwing people into mental health hospitals. Oh, no, those people have rights. Those people have rights. Those people have rights. Now we got them running all over the street shooting people up. This one, though, they keep running to the mental illness. There's no nothing on that. There's no history. There's no doctors coming up saying, yes, I was treating him for such and such. No. Nothing. Silence. This wasn't a mental... Well, he has to be a little mentally ill. But if you say that, then you got to take all the prisoners that are in prison for murder and now put them in a mental hospital. So, no, it's not exactly just because you commit a crime like that, you're mentally ill. To me, you're just evil. God damn it, 3 minutes are missing out of the game. I'm getting tired of this crap with these damn stations. 2 nights in a row I missed the beginning of a hockey game. Ugh. So I missed who's not playing and who's playing. It is. It's a dog whistle. I know it is. And what they're doing, they're actually causing more problems by doing that. And let me explain how they're causing more problems by constantly bringing up mental issues and all that. What that's going to do is it's going to stop people from going and seeking help because they're not going to want the government to know that there's any issue with them. So they're not going to see any doctors. They're not going to admit there's any problem. They're going to hide it until it gets to a point where it does get to a point where they do blow a gasket and go on a shooting spree. And I'm not trying to, be funny about that. I know someone who might be an alcoholic, might need to go to rehab, but will not go because doesn't want it on his record, so it can't be used against him later on if he wants to get a gun. He's that fearful of the government doing it to him. Hell, I know I could have claimed mental, not that I am mental, I could have claimed during my disability and got approved. I could have just said, because of my EMS career, I have a PTSD, and I would have got approved, but then it would have been, hey, well, you can't own guns and all this other shit. Right now it may not happen under President Trump, but we get a Democrat president next, and there goes my right to own a gun. It's going to stop people when they keep doing that, screaming that. It's going to stop people from going and getting help. Because there's got to be a fine line. I know we got to know if there's somebody that has a severe issue that shouldn't own a gun. But if you keep pushing this like they are and screaming in the media of a mental issue, and the government needs to know, and the government needs to know, some of these people are already paranoid as it is. They're one of their paranoids is the government. So they're not going to go get the damn help. And again, liberals are the ones that dump these people out on the street. I mean, does anybody besides me remember the Democrats throwing a hissy fit because so many people, their constitutional rights were taken away from them and put into a mental hospital, that we had to release all these people? Now, what's one of the things that also happened? You start breeding. Crazy starts breeding crazy. Maybe it's just me. Yeah, I'm just nuts. We can't keep screaming that and expecting good results. Sorry, I had to turn the fan on in the background. The room's getting a little bit was it, make no mistake, this is war culture that has dressed up as Uncle Sam and embedded itself in the American psyche. No, it's just the left having a pure hatred for our Constitution. They've been attacking our First Amendment rights, and they've been attacking our Second Amendment rights, and they're going to just keep going down. They're attacking, as I said earlier, they're attacking our voting rights. They're pushing all these illegals into voting. Not just illegal aliens, people that should be voting. They're trying to overload it and it's going to cancel out our actual voice. Those who have a right to vote. It's going to silence our voice because they are pushing for illegal votes. The only time they care about the Constitution is when they can use it to their advantage. Now it's been about, 3-4 days since 64-year-old Stephen Paddock opened fire on Las Vegas concert goers late Sunday night. Several huge questions remain unanswered. Who, if anyone, helped Paddock carry out his operation? Clark County Sheriff Joseph Lombardo said at a press conference Wednesday night that he presumes Paddock likely had help in carrying out his mass murder. You got to make the assumption he had to have help at some point, and we want to ensure that's the answer. Maybe he's a super guy, not hero, super. I won't use that word. Maybe he's super. That was working out on its own, but it will be hard for him, or hard for me to believe that. And that's where I was talking about super villain. That was the comment he made. So far, there is no publicly available evidence that Paddock had help in carrying out his plot. So you can't do that and just... He had to have help. As if the sheriff believes Paddock had help, the question remains from whom? Paddock's longtime girlfriend, Mary Lou Danley, was in the Philippines at the time of the attack. She claims to have had no knowledge of Paddock's mysterious intention. What was Paddock planning to do with a car full of bomb-making material? Law enforcement officials discovered large quantities of bomb-making material in Paddock's car, which was parked at the Mandalay Bay Hotel. Lombardo told reporters on Monday that ammonium nitrate, a chemical compound used to make homemade bombs, was found in Paddock's car. On Wednesday, Lombardo said the law enforcement officers also found 50 pounds of tannerite, an explosive chemical, in Paddock's car. It's unclear what Paddock ultimately aimed to do with the car full of bomb-making material. How did Paddock plan to escape? Because now they're saying he had plans to escape. Sheriff Lombardo said Wednesday night he has his reasons to believe that Paddock originally planned to remain alive and escape after carrying out the mass murder. Paddock committed suicide after detecting an unarmed security guard outside his room. And here's the thing. If it wasn't for that unarmed security guard, this shooting may have went on for a longer time, or it may have gone unnoticed the exact location. Because from the outside, it's hard to tell which floor, which room, and all that. So what happened is this unarmed security guard ended up getting shot outside the room by Paddock. So he was able to radio and tell he just got shot. So they knew to go to that room. And then they were able to tell, hey, this is where all the gunfire is coming from. Could you imagine? Because if not, they would have almost had to go floor to floor to floor to floor to floor. They actually started out, I think, on the 29th floor. That would have given him time to escape. But because of that unarmed security guard that got shot and was able to notify him, that saved hundreds of lives right there. And that helped keeping Paddock from escaping. Where did Paddock shoot from? Why did Paddock buy a room overlooking another concert the week before? Paddock purchased a room at the Ogilden, Las Vegas, during another music festival, Life is Beautiful, the previous weekend. Paddock's room at the Ogilden, like his room at the Mandalay Bay, overlooked the concert venue. Was Ogaden Room a practice run for Sunday night's massacre? Was it a target? We don't know yet. Why? The biggest question in this wake of this shooting, why did he do it? More than 72 hours after the deadliest mass shooting in American history, the public still has no answer for why Paddock did what he did. But let's also look at, he had gotten a room in Chicago. They're now saying he was possibly looking at doing this shooting at Fenway Park in Boston. He was scouting other locations. This was not a spur of the minute. This guy was planning. And what's scary is we're finding out this guy used to work for the government. Something doesn't smell right in Denmark, and it wasn't one of my farts either. Something's not right. And the longer it takes the government to come up with a reason, the less chance people are going to be believing it. Now we got NRA calls for an ATF to review the bump stocks and new regulations after Las Vegas shooting. Now, they're still pushing for national reciprocation, but they're saying that the ATF should look at and review the bump stock, and NRA is kind of agreeing that maybe this is not something that should be available to the public. I'm not in a disagreement with them. I know that may not be popular, but I'm not exactly in agreement that bump stocks should be out there. National Rifle Association is taking some shit for it. I think some Republicans are taking some shit for it. I think it's the responsible thing to do at this point. I don't want to give an inch to the Democrats when it comes to gun control. Understand that. I don't want to give an inch. Except for going to the range and burning through some ammo. What is really a reason for something like that? But on the other hand, I'm told you can make one of these with a rubber band. Not really hard to create this at home, especially with 3D printers nowadays. So there's a lot of questions about it. I wonder if maybe they're saying this just to ease up on giving ammo to the left. Because the left, is targeting the NRA hard, and they could go, what do you target us? We agree with you on this. We agree with you. And it's going to take some of the wind out of the Democrats' sails, so to speak. Oh, damn. The show's just flying by tonight. Dang. Couldn't believe how fast it's going by. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back. Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Oh, coming up next, top of the hour, in about 13 minutes, will be BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, hosted by BZ. Pull up a chair, grab a drink. Speech is free. What the hell, the drinks aren't? What do you think this is? Frat party? This is capitalism, damn it. Okay. So here's a perfect example. You got to picture this. They say that more regulations will stop people from doing dumb shit. Isn't there regulations on what you can put your gasoline into? There's a picture of someone holding a grocery bag, one of those little plastic grocery bags, and pumping gasoline into it. Yeah. Regulations stop people from doing dumb shit, alright. Okay, sure. Just like banning heroin would stop people from doing heroin. It's illegal to abuse prescription drugs. People still do it. You know, murder is against the law. You would think that's the only law we would need if laws worked. Where's that Nancy Pelosi? So Pelosi, during a town hall on CNN on Wednesday, stated that universal background checks save lives, but many other things would have to be done as well. Pelosi said that background checks were expanded to cover various sales that are exempt, it would save lives, but it isn't the complete answer. We have to do many other things as well, and people have to be vigilant. We don't want people reporting on each other. We respect people's not only Second Amendment right, but their Fourth Amendment right, but something must have been obvious to someone about this along the way. What? And even fine, we do more background checks. The guy has no history, doesn't even have a fucking parking ticket. It's funny how they jump on this bandwagon when these shootings happen, and they scream about background checks and all this other crap, and then it comes out that the people passed all that, and it wouldn't have stopped the shootings. I mean, maybe I'm thinking they're still good at people and that people are actually smart. But, oh my God. But what they want us doing is snitching on each other. They want us snitching. Oh, this one has too many guns. I feel too many guns. I'm going to call the cops. They need to get, you know. What the hell? Facebook. Yesterday I was talking about, there was a video. And, let me see if I can find the video real quick. I can play the audio. Yep. I'm pretty sure you can get the gist from the audio. And they've kind of banned it. It's a smart-ass response. There's nothing vulgar. He talks about turning his rifle and his handgun into a fully automatic with a mil-spec butter knife. And the people lose their shit. I'm sure it's gotten reported multiple times. Damn, I got a couple of pages of what I saved. But it's... And yes, easy, exactly right. That's called communism. They want everybody, turning everybody in for the betterment of the government. Alright, let me play this video. And then it's going to be almost the end of the show. Holy shit. See if that's still up.
Facebookers, I'm going to come in and do a quick tutorial video. This is not normally the type of video I would do, but there's a lot of folks out there that have been making requests. They want to know how to make their weapons fully automatic. There's some misinformation floating around out there about filing down your firing pin, which absolutely does work, but I'm going to show you all some more effective ways to do that. We're going to try and get through it pretty quick here. Should be less than 5 minutes. What we're going to work with today is the Ghost Gun weapon system, the Ghost Gun rifle, the Ghost Gun handgun. Now, I've got a couple different brands here. This here is a 6 Hour. This here is a Seekins. You know, I kind of go on the economical side here. There is a company out called High Point that makes very, very top-notch quality versions of both of these weapon systems.
I like this High Point.
You know, if you want to go that
High
route
Point
and
is
you
a
have the
very
money to spend,
great
you know,
system.
by all means, that's who I would recommend. But you know, if not, these do the job as well. The
High Point is better than 6 Hour
butter knife. Let's try and get through this real quick. So we'll go through the handgun first. You'll notice your handgun from the factory has that mechanical resistance to it, and that's what makes it semi-automatic. So we're going to pull the slide back. We're going to depress the catch. We're going to take this tab here. We're going to rotate it down. We're just going to detach the slide from the frame there. Now all that's keeping this thing semi-automatic is this compressed spring here, and that just sits there. So we're going to pull that out, disregard that. We're going to put our weapon system back together here. And go back, you're going to rotate this catch back up, and you're ready to go. No more mechanical resistance. You now have a fully automatic machine there with a sustained rate of fire of 2,000 rounds per minute. Let's get to the Ghost Gun rifle system. Now I want everybody to work safe, so we're going to remove our clip. Don't be an amateur and call this a magazine. Gun guys hate that. This here's a clip. So we're going to go to this side of the weapon systems first. You're going to take the butt end of your mil-spec butter knife. You have this little tab here, this little tab here. We use the butt end to push that tab in on both of those there.
I got to get me one of those mil-spec knives.
Just reach in with your hand, now that you've got a little something to get a hold of, and you're just going to pull that out, reach up front, pull the other one out. Now you have detached your top Ghost Gun from your bottom Ghost Gun. Now, a lot of folks will try and mess with shit up in here. Totally unnecessary. Go to the back of your Ghost Gun here. You'll see this little arc-shaped thing. Amateurs, some guys that haven't been around guns will probably call that a charging handle. It's actually the pull-majibber.
Pull-majigger.
On your pull-majibber, you'll have this little tab here. So you're going to depress this tab and pull it back just a little bit, and that will actually allow the fully automatic safety bolt to slide out there.
Because I know that you can see this BCG he's pulling out.
Don't pull your pull-majibber out here. Then once you've got your fully automatic safety catch out, you take your pull-majibber, push it back in until you hear a click. Once you hear a click, you've successfully engaged the fully automatic rapid fire system. So we're not going to go. Hold on. Thingamajibber slides back up there. So we're now going to reach.
And people took this serious.
Ghost Gun to the bottom Ghost Gun. Push Thingamajibber number 1 in. Push Thingamajibber number 2 in, and you're fucking ready to rock. This weapon system has a sustained rate of fire of 70,000 rounds a minute.
70,000.
So we're going to go through the features here. You've got safe.
And now he's pulling the stock back.
3-round burst. Fully automatic. And then if you have the special edition Ghost Gun 2, you have a 4th option called Rain Down Fire. That's all there is to it. And what are we at? 4 minutes, you're ready to go. Now the controversy of, can you get in trouble for this? What do you need to do? No, let me squash all the rumors. You don't actually need any paperwork, any permits. Doesn't cost any money. All you have to do once you're completed with this, you'll want to call, if your city doesn't have a local ATF field office, you'll call your local FBI field office. You'll just need the serial number of your Ghost Gun, your name, your social security number, and your address, and you just let whatever special agent answers the phone know that you've converted your Ghost Gun over to fully automatic, and you're just calling to register it. And like I said, you know, your name, social security number, address, all your pertinent personal information with the serial number of your Ghost Gun, and you're good to go. So there you go. There's your tutorial on how to do it properly in under 5 minutes. You've now got 2 fully automatic weapon systems.
Now, can you imagine the poor FBI agents that have gotten a phone call? Could you imagine that? Hi, I just turned my gun, my AR-15 into a fully automatic Ghost Gun. Here's my name and address. Yeah, we'll be right there. I'm going to leave that is going to be the end of the show. Listen, everybody, have a great night. Up next is BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, hosted by, of course, BZ himself. Everybody, have a great night.
You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.